Welcome back to the ATX VGC Monday Night Friendlies, y'all. Tonight we are in for a very special treat. We have two additional commentators. We're going to have 6 total commentators for the night, and that is super exciting. Hey, how's it going, DJ Prime? So tonight we have got actually 5 battles all lined up. This is going to be kind of a wild night in terms of this. These are all very first for ATX VGC here. I'm gonna go ahead. My name is Gemma. I also go by Gems. And y'all, I'm gonna let all of my other wonderful co-hosts introduce themselves.
Hi guys, I'm Nibs Plays Games.
Oh hey, I'm Amy, aka Woke Flossie.
My name is Chase, also Tiki VGC.
Hey, I'm Will, go by Sir Wilson.
I'm Roller Coaster, I went last.
For sure. So we have got some really exciting matches, Series 7 matches ready for y'all. We showcased 4 Series 7 matches on the channel last week, and those YouTube videos will start going up actually tomorrow. So if y'all want to get caught up on what happened last time, you can check that out starting tomorrow. But for tonight, I'm not even going to try and remember all 5 of the games. I know that we start with myself versus Prime, and then I believe it is Justin Snores versus Sir Wilson. So everyone you see here, for the most part, will also be battling at one point tonight. We are all Austin, Texas based tonight in terms of our commentators, and we're going to be welcoming a whole bunch of new people to the stream in terms of having first-time battlers. So if y'all over in the chat want to be super awesome and give tons of encouragement, that would be really great. All right, and we're back. Quick little break there before we come here to round out our last set of the night. We've got Woke Flossie, returning champion, as well as Polter, our second-time battler here on the ATX VGC Monday Night Friendlies.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this, especially looking at these teams. I believe this is what Polter used last week when they played.
Yes.
Very similar, if not the exact same team. And I'm not sure whatsoever what I am looking at on Woke Flossie's team.
Yeah, I'm not either. It looks like Woke Flossie wants to go ahead and use Reggie Drago as well as the Ice Horse and Stack Attacka, but at the same time having some hallmarks of early hyper offense from Series 5 with Cinderace Whimsicott.
Yeah, my real question is this Choice Specs Stack Attacka going to be Choice Specs Reggie Drago, going to be max speed for the Tailwind, or is it going to be min speed for the Trick Room, or somewhere in between for both?
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure either way.
Reggie Drago's not a Pokemon that I've seen battle particularly a whole lot in this meta so far. I know it has access to an incredibly cool move that I hope we get to see in its Dragon's Maw? Is that the name of it, or is that the ability?
I think that's the ability. I think it's Dragon Energy is the move. I'm not 100% sure though.
Yeah, but it's functionally similar to Torkoal's Eruption that we saw in the previous game. It starts at 150 base power, and for every HP that you lose, it ticks down slightly in power. But yeah, I am definitely interested to see what Polter is going to be able to do here with this team. We see yet again they don't bring any legendaries. Perhaps more of an issue of getting them in game, or wanting to go ahead and test out some of these tools. Whoa, we saw a disconnect right there.
That's good.
We will go ahead and get them back up connected, but in the meantime, we can chat a little bit about this. The team from Polter looks a lot like some Series 5 teams.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like Polter said in the chat that their internet went out, but
no.
It should be good now.
Awesome.
But Polter's team looks a lot honestly looks like a Series 6 team with the inclusion of Whimsicott and Incineroar.
Yeah.
It's just like, what was I using in Series 6? Let me throw some stuff on that I used in Series 5. And honestly, it looks kind of solid for Series 7. You have your speed control, you have your redirection, your intimidate. It's kind of a hallmark. All types of damage reduction with Porygon Z, pretty much the strongest thing in the game. Which, fun fact, Helping Hand Max Strike from Porygon Z KOs Max Special Defense Cresselia.
Yeah, that is wild to me. That's not a calculation that I would have expected. Dynamax. What a mechanic.
Yeah. I wonder how much it does to Ice Horse. That's the real question.
Yeah, I mean, Ice Horse, we've seen is relatively bulky. It can take some super effective damage, and like you mentioned, Max Flare in the Sun is not against a +1 Ice Force you said is not going to be enough to pick up a KO.
Yeah, no, I wonder. I think Ice Force could probably survive Dynamax. I don't know, but I mean, let's see what do you think that Woke Flossies, as we're finally getting selected with the internet issues beforehand. What do you think both Polter and Woke Flossie are going to be thinking going into this matchup? And who do you think kind of has the better matchup?
For sure. So I think if I'm Woke Flossie, I look at Polter's team and I'm a little like, I feel like I have the better speed control in terms of Cinderace will outspeed the Porygon Z, but you have to be afraid of a Choice Scarf Dracovish there. Still, at the end of the day, you have access to redirection. But you also have access to a Trick Room mode that Polter doesn't currently sport. So if you're able to catch Polter off guard, and maybe they only bring their fastest Mons, and you know, Clefairy doesn't have a move like after you could be in a really good position to kind of go with the speed control that way. I think seeing here the fact that this Regidrago is being brought in alongside the Trick Room setters, we might see that it is min speed in order for it to be best used under Trick Room, unless it's a late game target. I don't know. What's a Regidrago?
Yeah, the one thing to say is even if the Clefairy does have something like After You, the Stakataka would underspeed it in Trick Room and potentially KO with Max Steel Spike.
Yeah.
Which is something to worry about.
So here we are seeing a very familiar lead in Clefairy plus Porygon Z. An interesting thing that could happen right here is this Porygon Z, as its fourth move, instead of being Protect, could be Trick Room. And we could see a similar Trick Room mind game as the last set, where you have to decide who's going to set the Trick Room. Is it you? Is it me? Who's going to have the last Trick Room laugh, I guess.
Yeah. If you're in that position and you have Trick Room against opposing Trick Room, do you go for it?
If it's Roller Coaster, no.
I never go for it. I really do not trust that they're going to go for Trick Room. And I'm like, if you go for Trick Room when the opponent doesn't, then you've given them a third move in turn, pretty much.
Yeah, it's incredibly tough to maneuver around that. I've been in some of those scenarios in the past, and you try and find the best mid-ground play that you can.
Yeah.
So we see dueling Follow Me's. We see a Dynamax coming out from this Porygon Z, so it looks like it won't be going for Trick Room this turn. It is just going to go and opt for a Max Darkness, going to lower the special defense on, well, obviously Indeedee's not going to be living this, it's not Sash, but the Stakataka will be at -1 stage of special defense. It does, pretty importantly, resist Max Strike, and I think if it goes for Trick Room right here, you're not going to be wanting to use Max Strike onto it.
I'm not too sure on that one. I think a Helping Hand Max Strike might just KO the Stakataka with its -1 special defense at this point.
Yeah. You do have to be wary of Ice Force here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, something like a Max Quake and there's even Max Knuckle. I was going to say, even something like a Gyro Ball and a Max Quake into Porygon Z to force the redirection might be something we might see. It's just, the real thing is you should probably prioritize getting those special defense boosts, like Flossie doing. Because the real thing with Porygon Z is if it can't get quick KOs and it gets its Dynamax is over, it kind of becomes a liability on that side of the field.
Yeah, for sure. So in this position, Woke Flossy is able to go ahead and click that Gyro Ball button. That's the one thing about this is had that been a Max Strike last turn as opposed to a Max Darkness, then it would be doing slightly more damage if it was redirected into that Clefairy. But since both of them are relatively slow, Gyro Ball's base power is not particularly high.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly those calcs because 13 speed versus potentially 36 speed min speed Clefairy is probably not that high of a damage output, but I don't know. Stakataka is strong and slow.
Yep, we'll see right here what exactly that ends up being as the Gyro Ball comes out. It's going to be going into this Clefairy. You know what? Everything we said was wrong. That still is just a clean one-hit KO. And as Stakataka is able to go ahead and get a Beast Boost and raise its defense. Defense notably not going to be helping a ton here against this Porygon Z, but might help against something else in the back.
And potentially could help for body press calcs against this Porygon Z.
Yeah, that as well. Because this is an undynamaxed Stakataka, it does have access to that body press as opposed to a Max Knuckle.
Yeah, as we do see the Max Darkness again into the Stakataka. doing a lot of damage, and based on that damage, I think a max strike might have KO'd. I know it's resisted, but it should be slightly stronger if I'm doing the math right than a like 120 base power max darkness.
Yeah, for sure. Perhaps Polter here trying to go ahead and prioritize the drops on special defense onto that Ice Horse, while knowing that you're going to be able to go ahead and cut some of its damage output with an Intimidate here. Last turn, denying the KO for the Chilling Neigh, it did go ahead and give the defense boost to Woke Fossey, which is far less helpful on everything besides body press.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think at this point, it's been a good enough like damage reduction, especially with the fake out potentially into the stack attack of this turn. That
there's Psychic Drain up, which we're about to see.
Well,
Yeah.
we do see this fake out, but as you said, well, this is going to be really tough for this non-Dynamax Porygon with a couple turns left of Trick Room against a turn with one turn of Dynamax left for this Ice Horse.
Yeah, for sure. So we see Stack Attacker getting another Beast Boost, going to go ahead and power up that Body Press again next turn. If it gets a chance to, we'll see here what this Porygon Z goes ahead and tries to target. Stack Attacker now still at -1 special defense, having taken 2 Max Darkness drops. We see the Max Strike come out here. Into the Ice Horse at +1 special defense. That's not really going to be doing a whole lot of damage there.
Have you seen a Pokemon take Max Strike better than that?
No, I haven't. This is, +1 Glacier. What is Glacier? I'm sorry. What is Ice Horse's base special defense? I know it's an HP. It's quite impressive, but
I think its HP is 100 and its special defense is 110. But that is incredibly impressive, I have to say.
yeah, 414 HP there. A whole lot of health. And the beauty of a Trick Room Sweeper is you don't have to invest in speed, so you have those extra EVs available to go ahead and put into bulk, whether it be HP, physical defense, or special defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and at this point, with 2 turns of Trick Room left, there's not very much that Polter can do this game, but potentially think of a way to deal with this Trick Room mode for game 2.
Ambrosio in the chat is pointing out the fact that this is an AV Ice Horse.
Oh,
We did
that
see
is
the
true.
4 attacks on it, so yeah, that is definitely in a position.
Yeah. And I mean, at this point, a Dracovish on its own is, while it can do a lot of damage, it can only do a single target.
Yeah, so, and the fact that it doesn't even have access to its fastest, or its most useful move this turn, with only Fish's Rend being 80 base power. We see the critical hit there coming out from the Max Steel Spike as this Ice Horse raises its physical defense. So now it is at +1 Spidef, +1 physical defense, and this, I believe that's a +3 Stack Attacker. And we do see a reveal here of the weakness policy on the Stack Attacker. So some interesting item reveals that Polter is going to have access to next game, knowing, all right, that Ice Horse definitely got to be AV. Stack Attacker, it's a 100% weakness policy because we saw it proc. So, yeah, what do you think some adjustments might be going into the next game?
I think potentially the adjustment is kind of pivoting around better with Incineroar to get more Intimidates. And the other thing is, your issue of normally facing a Trick Room is they'll lead Follow Me plus Trick Room, and you just don't want to KO the Follow Me user because it just gives them a free switch. In this case, if you don't KO the Follow Me user, potentially the Stack Attacker can immediately Dynamax, which is also not good.
Yeah.
So it's going to be some form of damage reduction. Maybe it's the Aurora Veil from the Ninetales along with the Incineroar. And just letting Porygon Z try to get through everything by itself again. I'm not exactly sure what a good adjustment is here, because Trick Room is very matchup dependent, and this team being hyper offense kind of has a poor matchup.
Yeah, for sure. And without the ability on turn 1 to go ahead and change that terrain from Psychic Terrain, you can't reliably get a Fake Out off into any of the Pokemon. So that's one of the things where, now that we have access to so many more terrain setters here in Series 7, things like Tapu Fini to set Misty Terrain, or Tapu Koko to set Electric Terrain, Rillaboom still to set Grassy Terrain because no one's using Bulu. we do see Woke go ahead and check in here on this Regidrago. It's called Dragon Energy, so you were correct on that. And its ability is Dragon's Maw. So yeah, it becomes far more manageable to deal with the Follow Me Trick Room in Psychic Terrain in Series 7 than it did in past formats, where there wasn't a reliable way of changing the terrain and getting a fake out off.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, at this point, like even though that is a possibility for most teams, it's going to be a lot more difficult when you do not have the terrain changing. Potentially the way through it is leading something that can KO the Indeedee and your parting shot Incineroar. If that's what it is, if Polter has that, then they can potentially Max Darkness the Indeedee to KO it and parting shot into the Stakataka, if that's what the lead is, which we did see that it wasn't. It's looking like it's Whimsicott Cinderace lead. Maybe that would be the way to go, and just damage reduction as much as possible. Maybe switch the Incineroar back in. But
yeah, continue to cycle those Intimidates. Force that Stakataka to be undynamaxed and maybe be in a position where you can start to pick it off. Because if you get a parting shot and 2 Intimidates down, it's probably not going to really want to be Dynamaxing and going for those Steel Spikes based off of its physical attack as opposed to Body Press, which is based solely off of its defense.
And we do see the Ninetales come out this time, potentially trying to get the Aurora Veil up early, and honestly, in this position, a pretty good time to just click Blizzard.
Yeah.
If it is Focus Sash, which I believe we saw it being Focus Sash last week, so unless things have changed, that's potentially what's going on this turn.
So we see some information here from this Whimsicott. That'd be an interesting play. Especially if this Cinderace happens to be similar to one we've seen earlier on the channel, which was a special Cinderace. I don't believe that's what this is.
Yeah.
Nope, we get confirmation there. It is not, in fact, special Cinderace. So now you've got Cinderace versus Porygon Z in a... this feels like a matchup that's much better for Polter in this case.
I was going to say, the one issue here is that Max Knuckle does not KO Porygon Z, as far as I'm aware. High Jump Kick does KO, but a Knuckle on its own will not KO, and potentially taking a Max Strike and a Blizzard this turn is going to lead to a double knockout for Polter.
Yeah.
But we should see what happens.
Yep, we'll see here. As the Whimsicott opts for the Tailwind, here there is no Dynamax coming out from Polter, and we see the Max Knuckle. So this is probably going to be in a position to KO here without a Dynamax on this Porygon Z.
Yeah, I guess the one thing I did not factor in was if Porygon Z does not Dynamax, then there's your KO.
We see a critical hit there. That critical hit did not matter based on the most common calculations for both of these Pokemon.
Hey, you don't be timid. It could be timid Cinderace and max defense. As we see, Whimsicott gonna go down after the Focus Sash proc to the Hail this turn, and that's a free switch into potentially the Regidrago. Maybe we'll see what it does. The one issue is its special move is not going to be able to hit Ninetales at all,
which is unfortunate. But I think we see Wokwasi here, knowing that people want to see it and trying to decide whether or not she wants to bring it out now and press it in a position that's not great for. Probably not the best move to click in this scenario.
Yeah.
But I think in this, it is the absolute worst move you can click in this moment.
Yeah, can we just see a Hyper Beam then, or an Ancient Power?
Yeah.
Because I want to see Rico do something, but potentially not the right time to bring it into 2 Fairy types where we can't see the amazing animation that is Dragon Energy.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, having threatened damage, at least from that Ninetales, is probably going to be able to go for something like a Moonblast. This Ninetales, that since we know its item, we're not sure if Wokwasi remembers from last week, is going to be able to go ahead and get an attack off this turn, pending, I guess, a Ancient Power Cinderace double up.
Yeah, it's looking like, and then potentially, we do see that there's no Steel Spike, but doubling up into Ninetales is probably the safest play. Follow me. Oh.
We see
this Ninetales is not going to be getting its Helping Hand boosted attack
no,
off.
I think it's going to come down to how fast the Regidrago is. If Tailwind is able to outspeed Ninetales, then yeah.
I can give you a spoiler that is 112 speed, which will outspeed Ninetales.
Yeah, that will outspeed. Yeah, that's right. She did go ahead and check that speed previously. We do see the Hyper Beam animation here to go ahead and take down that 1 HP. A little overkill, probably, but what a great animation. That could have gone very poorly if Hyper Beam had missed, because it is only, what, a 90 base accuracy move? 85? Yeah, somewhere in that range.
Now, I know that it's kind of like a 3v2 at this point. Oh, I was gonna say, if the last Pokemon left was Dracovish would be the one Pokemon that could potentially take this once Tailwind is over.
Yeah, for sure. But unfortunately, this Incineroar here is going to be not in the best position. Perhaps a Follow Me here is probably what you want. Trying to go ahead and redirect a potential Max Knuckle to allow this Cinderace to get back up to +1. It is now a neutral because of the Max Knuckle from turn 1 into this play right here. So you see Wokwasi kind of contemplating what her best move is. If that gets redirected, that's not going to really be doing a whole lot of damage here. So we are going to see a Dynamax. What do you think, Clefairy or Incineroar? What's it going to be?
I think Incineroar, but I want to see Clefairy.
Yeah, that's fair. So we do see the Dynamax Incineroar here looking very cool as that big cat with its big fire belt, flexing muscles, hoping to maybe turn this one back. Looking at Cinderace saying, hey, I know you're a fire starter, but I think I'm the better one. We actually don't see redirection here. We see a helping hand as this Max Knuckle is going to come out. It's going to do a lot of damage to this Dynamax Incineroar.
Yeah, I would say it's going to do probably over 50-60%.
Oh.
As I'm wrong, it only does about 40-45%.
Oh, Friend Guard.
Oh yeah, Friend Guard plus it's only at neutral and now at +1.
Yeah, we're so used to these calcs of like -1 Max Knuckle or -1 High Jump Kick going ahead and KOing Undynamax Incineroar. So we see the Max Knuckle here as Incineroar opts to go ahead and raise its own attack. And now this Incineroar is at +1 attack against a +1 Cinderace and a +1 unhelpful Regidrago.
Yeah, I mean, how much do you think a Hyper Beam is doing here? Anything at all?
Yeah, it's not going to really be doing a whole lot. We do see in chat right now, Wokwasi asking, want to see the dragon move?
I do want to see the dragon move, but your choice specs, so
Yeah, you can't change it without, I guess, potentially changing up your Pokemon here. So we do see her to go ahead and try and pivot around to put herself in that position.
This is what we call throwing the game for content. But
Yeah.
no, I think Wokwasi's in a good enough position to potentially cycle back out and protect stall this Dynamax, even bounce stall this Dynamax potentially.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
more.
So we see the Regidrago come out here as the Stack Attacker comes out. The Stack Attacker not really going to be doing a ton other than a Gyro Ball into that Clefairy. We see the Cinderace go ahead and reveal here that it is Protect Cinderace, so it's going to be mitigating most of the damage coming from any of Polter's moves. So we do see Polter, they opt to go for the Follow Me here, predicting that High Jump Kick perhaps, as we see yet another Max Knuckle come out into the Cinderace, and through Protect that does a lot of damage.
I did so much because it changed to normal type because of
because of Libero. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's super interesting interactions here. So now it's not quite within Hail Chip range. It could opt for a bounce on this turn. But yeah, I mean, a Max Flare into the Stack Attack, feels kind of free.
even a Max Knuckle into Stack Attack, it feels pretty free, knowing that it's 4 times effective.
Yeah, that as well.
The one issue here is going for bounce and getting the call wrong is probably not great. Potentially, you just want to double up Pyro Balling the Clefairy and either Trick Rooming with Stack Attacka or something of that, or Gyro Balling with Stack Attacka, knowing that no matter, like, you should just get a KO this turn and then should be able to deal with the Incineroar with the Regidrago in the back.
Yeah. So we do see the Clefairy actually here opt for Protect, a smart heads-up play, as the Cinderace goes for Pyro Ball, changes its typing back to Fire here. That Fireball is completely ineffective going to that Protect, as we see the Incineroar here go for the Max Knuckle, and this is going to go ahead and knock out that Stack Attacka before it can even go for that Gyro Ball into the Clefairy. And all of a sudden, we see ourselves in a really interesting endgame here where Polter's pulled this one back.
Yeah, are we going to see the first game 3 of the night? Maybe.
It's possible. The hail does stop here, so that gives this Cinderace a little bit more, but it's down pretty close to that Life Orb range, where it's only going to have 1 to 2 more total attacks. And this Regidrago is not as free to go ahead and click its funny dragon move as we wanted to see.
My question here is, I believe the Cinderace is at +1, so I would guess that something like a Pyro Ball will KO the Clefairy, and then you can just Draco Meteor the Incineroar. Going for the Dragon Energy here. Potentially not the call, although the combination of Pyro Ball May Dragon Energy is enough, even at like the 65 base power that it's probably at this point.
Yeah, Draco Meteor would be doing a lot more damage here. We see the Follow Me, but I guess this also goes ahead and accounts for the fact that Draco Meteor could be Follow Me'd away if Pyro Ball were to miss. So the spread damage from the Dragon Energy, perhaps opting to go ahead and go for that safer play here. Cinderace does actually live on 1 HP from his Life Orb.
Yeah, but the thing is, if the Pyro Ball missed, though, the game was just over, I think. And yeah, at this point, it looks like Wolf Flossie, does another one KO?
That's a good question. It has no more health. It's been locked into his choice specs. This is going to be really close. Throwing for content might have actually been a throw here.
Yeah.
We see the
The one thing with that is that the position kind of came down to this no matter what, but it looks like it is enough to get
yeah.
Well, good games to both of these players. I think, and it was just a bit of a team matchup issue, and Poulter's team kind of couldn't deal with the Trick Room without overhauling what was going on, and that caught them off guard for game 2 when the Tailwind came out.
Yeah.
Although other than that, I think both players played pretty well. It just Wolf Flossie got the better of the leads in both games and ended up taking them pretty convincingly in game 1, and Poulter fought back and almost won game 2.
Hey, you like that video? We think you should check this out, and YouTube thinks you should check this one out. And be sure to subscribe for more content.